Alright guys, quick little video. This is going to be some footage for us to use for some other posts in the future, but we thought we would at least show people what the factory system is doing. So again, we have our audio controlled DMRTA. RTA is just a tool used for measuring frequency response. So right now, all that we're tied in from the factory subwoofer straight into the RTA, and we're playing what's called pink noise. And pink noise just sounds like static. It just sounds like white noise. And what it's doing is it's playing all frequencies from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz at the same output level. So that way our tool can show everything on a balanced, concise scale. So everything is represented based off of what it's picking up equally. So what we're getting here is just from the factory subwoofer connector. So factory subwoofer is being fed straight into the RTA. And you can see we're getting flat response from 20 hertz, and it starts tapering off around 70 hertz mark, maybe the 80 hertz mark. So a lot of people argue saying that this is a good usable signal, but why would it not be a good usable signal? Traditional aftermarket tuning on subwoofer amplifiers is if you're running a subsonic, you play it around 30, 34 hertz, depending on the tuning of your enclosure. And on the low pass, you typically run it 80 hertz is pretty industry standard, which we have. So why is this not a perfectly acceptable frequency response to use to feed into a subwoofer amp? The only difference is how you tune your new subwoofer amplifier. So if you're using one of our packages, if you're using one of our harnesses, the way that you tune this is your low pass filter on your sub amp. You want to turn it either off or turn it all the way up so it's at the biggest number, and the same with the subsonic filter. You want it turned all the way down to the smallest number, or you want it turned off. And now you say, well, why, Paul? Why do I want to do that? It's already being processed. It is already a tuned signal that is being fed into your new subwoofer amplifier using our interface. And you can see it. It's a flat frequency response. It's got some bumps and jumps because of how this picks things up, but it's not like it's got a massive peak, and it's not like the deep stuff at 20 hertz is being cut. It is flat out to 20 hertz. So the way that an aftermarket amplifier works with dials, potentiometers for your controls, those are designed in the circuitry of the amplifier to be fed a massively large signal in order for those dials to know what they're supposed to do. Once you get into all the math and the wizardry of that circuitry that's going inside the amplifier, those dials are now knowing, okay, this is roughly going to be around 80 hertz based off of where they are labeling it on the amplifier. But if you're only feeding it a small signal and then you're adjusting your crossovers and stuff on the amplifier, the crossovers are not going to respond the same or the correct way. So the way that your aftermarket amplifiers are designed is they are just a complex circuit using resistors and capacitors and coils and stuff like that. And your dials, your potentiometers are calibrated so like when I say calibrated, I mean they turned a dial, took a measurement, and they said this is around 80 hertz. But when you're feeding it a signal that's not full range and you're only feeding it a signal from say 80 hertz down, those crossovers and capacitors and everything don't know how to react because you're in the analog world. Whereas this is in the digital world. This is all being controlled from the amplifier, just like you would with the DSP on an aftermarket amplifier. But since we're already limited in frequency range, this is all the frequency range that we need in order for the new amplifier to function and to do what it's supposed to. So the reason why we tune it this way is because we're feeding it a small signal. If you were going from an Amp Pro and you were feeding it a full range signal into a epicenter or into your amplifier, then yes, now you run your crossovers in the traditional manner and how you feel like they need to be set. But if you're using one of our subwoofer harnesses, just need to make sure that you're running the low pass filter all the way up or off, and the subsonic filter all the way down or off. So down meaning smallest number possible, on the low pass either at the highest number possible or off. And that's going to allow this 20 to 80 hertz range to play through on your new subwoofer amp. If you're using one of our subwoofer harnesses that plugs into the factory subwoofer, or if you're installing our behind the seat setup, just the subwoofer setup. So this is for how you would tune that amplifier based off of us feeding it just a factory processed subwoofer signal. So hopefully that answers up some questions. Thanks, guys.